Welcome back to The Perspective. I'm with Stanley Harsha, the veteran US diplomat and author of Like the Sun and the Moon, about US and Indonesia. We've spoken, Stanley, about numerous issues that come up in the book, but one thing that does come up that is particularly timely is Joko Widodo. You knew him, you met him while he was mayor of Solo, and there's some interesting sort of insight into how you see him as a sort of modern, quote, humanitarian leader, and also as a Javanese person. Just to broach, before we go into sort of the issues of the day, how would you sort of define him to someone who doesn't know Indonesia that well?
Well, if someone who doesn't know Indonesia as well, I would define Jokowi as someone who was born poor, was a self-made man. He saw the effects of corruption and elitism in this country. He's very smart, very talented, very hardworking. He's a good businessman, a good leader. And because of those qualities, in the small city of Solo, okay, he rose up to be asked to be run for mayor, and he became mayor, and he did such a great job. He ran for governor of Jakarta, a big job, and then amazingly, it's really a miracle, he was elected president of the country, all based upon his reputation as being honest and very caring for the people. So President Jokowi is, at his core, because I met with him, I spent hours and hours with him. I sat on the street stalls in Solo and had dinner with him and walked around the city with him. He is, at his core, a good humanitarian, very smart, very caring leader. So judging him as president, okay, it's more difficult because it's so difficult to be president of this country. And he obviously has a lot of different political constraints that he has right now. The fact that his own party is not fully supporting him. The fact that the enemies against him, who are basically people who would like to take Indonesia back to a dictatorship, many of them, and many wealthy people who do not want the corruption to change, these are very, very powerful enemies. So, you know, he's a good person at heart. I think that his government has had difficulty in the beginnings getting moving. I think they've made some mistakes, and I think they've had trouble communicating. But myself and everybody else I know who supported Jokowi, Indonesians, intelligent people, want to give him a chance, okay? Because he's made some mistakes probably, but believe that he will get a handle of his presidency and could really move Indonesia forth in leaps and bounds in terms of being a clean, progressive country with social justice. And that's very important because there's not very much social justice in Indonesia right now.
Would you bet against him being able to enact some serious change, or do you think that he can be stifled?
Oh, he'll definitely be stifled. And so the expectations are sky high. So he will not accomplish nearly as much as people had hoped that he would, because the whole political system, the way it's set up, is really stacked against one man. But let me put it this way, I think that by the end of 5 years, I think you'll see a lot more social justice, a lot less corruption in this country. I think he'll move forward on some areas, he'll probably move backward on some other areas. And I think if you give Jokowi another 10 years, I think he could do a great deal of good. But the important thing is not just Jokowi. The important thing is that Indonesian democracy has matured to the extent that a lot of really, really honest, smart local leaders, like the mayor of Surabaya, are rising up. And so there will be others after Jokowi. So the chances are, because Indonesian voters so far at the national level, the president, have elected the best leader possible in every single election. So I think that in the coming decades, Indonesia is going to have a series of better and better and stronger presidents. That would be my basic prediction.
Would you say that, so I mean, Joko Widodo is essentially, he's not part of the establishment. He's just not part of it. And it's me coming into Indonesia in the very beginning of 2013 and sort of getting to grips with it, is the biggest thing about him is that he has no traditional support base that everyone else has. Does his victory, assuming he holds and can hold another term, mean the end of the dominance of the presidency of the political establishment? Does that mean that only people like the mayor of Surabaya or other figures who have a new, fresh image can win now?
I would hope so. I would hope so. The election system at the local level, like for the parliament, okay, it's so controlled by money politics. It's so corrupt that it's hard to imagine how that could move forward right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe slowly it will be. I think the higher levels you get, like for governor and so forth, it's easier for the people to make a good choice. So I think for mayors and governors, you see better choices. But the political leadership up to this point, in terms of social justice, in terms of really having policies that meet the needs of the people, has been really abysmal in this country. So, there's a lot of progress that's been made, but I think that this country could become the life could be so much better for the vast majority of the people if you had 5 years of really good leadership in this country.
Do you think that it's such a big country that being able to try to sort of enforce governance over it is its own headache? Issues, and come up in your book, human trafficking, corruption, of course, being a big one. Do you see a strong and state in the sense of local imposition, possibly the role of the armed forces in providing greater security as essential to be able to actually enforce a degree of sort of anti-corruption efforts, and that'll be effective on a national scale?
Well, I would say just the opposite. I would say that in terms of human trafficking, in terms of corruption, in terms of wildlife trafficking, deforestation, gambling, prostitution, narcotics, all these areas is what you need the most, is just strong law enforcement in these areas. So I would say that yeah, in terms of the military, that's separate, but I'm talking about the police, because the police plays the main role. I think the military should not be playing a role in domestic issues, okay? In terms of the police, if the police would enforce the laws, then this country could be very, very strong in all those areas. The police is not enforcing this. Okay, so that's a big problem that this country has to get a handle on. The Anti-Corruption Commission in this country is very strong and is most responsible for hundreds of persons going to prison, serving hard time because of corruption. If there's any weakness in the Anti-Corruption Commission, then that would be a very, very bad sign for Indonesia. So hopefully, President Joko Widodo will work hard to maintain the strength of the Anti-Corruption Commission and not let any other institutions weaken that or threaten it.
Well, given what's going on now, and it's happened before that the National Police and the KPK, Anti-Corruption Commission, have clashed, is this part of an inevitable process towards cleaning up and creating a law enforcement agency that the public can trust?
Well, I think that you have to address corruption in all institutions, including the police. Okay, so I think it's very important that corruption by the police and involvement by the police in all illicit activities, that come to an end. The police is the institution that is one of the least trusted. The police and Parliament are two of the institutions that, according to public opinion polls, are the least trusted. So it's like I write in my book. If you report a chicken stolen, you're going to lose your goat as well. That means that you report a crime to the police, they're going to ask for money to investigate that crime. And so basically, people don't report crimes to the police. A lot of vigilante groups take the law into their own hands because of that. So, sometimes the police has done a good job in cracking down on human trafficking and so forth. But I think that, yeah, all the institutions in Indonesia have to be cleaned up from corruption. And it's still a very, very corrupt country.
Before we have to head off, what would you say to people thinking about reading your book, Indonesians?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd say that the book is available at most Gramedia bookstores, okay, and also online at Scoop. And later it'll be available in the United States. It's just not available yet. So I would say that the book is a fairly easy read. You don't have to read the whole book. There's a part in which I address my marriage and to an Indonesian and the Javanese cultural issues. There's parts that deal with religion, religious freedom. terrorism and so forth. So a lot of people just like to pick the chapters and just read different parts of the book. But I'd say the main thing is I hope from this book that people can pay close attention to the importance of understanding and having respect for other religions and other cultures in the book, because that's what I most hope to accomplish with this book.
Right. Well, I wish you the best of luck with it. I certainly enjoyed reading it.
Okay.
Stanley, thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Blake.
Join us next time on The Perspective. I'm Blaise Hope. See you later.